My regards to all the dignitaries present here, members of the radio world. Thank you so much for this opportunity. When I got the invitation, I was like, radio and why me? I mean, why am I being called? It's a UNESCO thing, it's a radio thing. And then suddenly, when I sat down and I started thinking about radio and life, and I found that at every step and at every crucial step, radio was such an integral part of my life. And if I take you back to the times when, for the first time, my parents found weakness in my lower limbs, they realized that I'm not able to climb stairs, and that whole journey of investigations, and finally putting me in Pune Command Hospital in 1975-76, just barely at the age of 5-6 years. They were not able to diagnose what was going wrong because the technology had not developed. There were no MRIs, CT scans, and they were just treating me for anything and everything. And that process carried on for almost a year, and my condition deteriorated every day. So, same room, same bed, a child who's just barely 5-6 years old, and at an era where even English ABCD used to start when we were 6 years old. So, and since it was just below the neck, I could not hold up my body and my neck for a very long time. Basically, I was just lying down. And the only thing that I had was a radio by my side. And even the channels were not there. The TV had come, but every time you wanted to tune into a channel of the television, somebody had to go out and rotate that 20-meter long pole tied onto a tree. And you would never find that person available who would climb up the tree and rotate the aerial just to get that right signal in the right direction. So one would always fall back to the radio. And I remember listening to songs and listening to all the stories. And so radio was a huge partner that time. Moving forward in life, I got married. Firstly, fell in love, of course. In our times, one letter used to take 15 days to reach. And if the husband, then my lover, Valentine, just went back, yes. So he would be in an exercise, or he was young officer deployed to take a convoy from place A to B, he would never receive that letter. So the only idea of romance was those lovely songs on the radio. And you could just fantasize. Like they said, radio creates pictures. I could literally fantasize my love story on the songs. Then I got my daughters, and in the process of growing up and becoming a mother, I was always fascinated by the idea because in our unit, there were two sons, Kamal and Neeraj. They meant the same. Kamal and Neeraj are synonymous for the lotus flower. And there was another couple who had two daughters, and the daughters' names were Sanyam and Priyam. They didn't mean the same, but they rhymed. So in my mind, becoming a mother, I always wanted my children's name to rhyme and mean the same. So then again radio came to my rescue because I would hear endless names, the request that comes on the radio, the names and the names and the names. And can you believe it? Thanks to the radio, now my daughters are Devika and Ambika. They mean the same, they rhyme. Though it's a different story, my husband calls me the Chandalika. But okay, then moving forward, I'll take you to the year 1999. No, before that, I have to first take you back again to my college days. where with my pocket money, not just my pocket money, we three friends got together. We collected money and we bought that small radio because we wanted to listen to the commentary. We were cricket lovers. So the first year, sitting in the class, you had that headphone and you were trying to listen to the commentary and we get caught. So all three of us are brought out. It's a missionary Sophia College. And as a punishment for listening to the cricket commentary, I'm sent to the cricket coach. Take her away and make her play cricket. I think she really loves cricket. And can you believe it? That became the serious start of my sports journey. I was playing as an army kid, I was playing everything in Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathan, I was playing, but I had not got anchored to sports. And then I soon become the part of the first women's cricket team made in Rajasthan in 1987, 88, 89. I play cricket, but I guess the romance takes over, and because I was not going to be an engineer or a doctor, I was married to an army officer whom I loved, and life went on. And then, of course, the daughters happened. But in the year 1999, a time when my tumors resurface, my condition is deteriorating, and my husband is at the war. So the only thing which connects me with my husband is the radio. Because I cannot sit for very long. I'm traveling from place A to place B for my checkups. My condition is really bad, and eventually I'm admitted in R&R Hospital, Delhi. A hospital which is nothing but converted into a entire ICU because war casualties were coming in, and we just had plastic curtains in between. I underwent a 20-hour surgery followed by chest below paralysis, and then there were complications. The brain fluid leaked, and another surgery happened, and I was put on a ventilator. When I was put on a ventilator, we were at least 20 ventilators in the same hall. It was a makeshift ICU because there were war casualties in many. If my machine was not beeping, the side ones was beeping, and then the other one was beeping. The whole room had only one sound, which was beep, 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 and it was like a Chinese torture when drop, drop, drop the water falls on your forehead. And I couldn't take it anymore. And then I asked the general there, the commandant of R&R, may I have a radio? And may I wear the headphones? And they said, this has never happened. We cannot get a radio inside an ICU. But I put my foot down. I remember I was totally paralyzed, lying in the bed. I just caught hold of him by his belt because only my fingers were moving at that point of time. The shoulders were also battered because of the surgery. And I held him by his belt and his buckle. And I said, no, I want my radio. I need to get out of this sound of beep, 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 beep. It's driving me crazy. And then for the next 40 days, there was a huge supply of batteries in that little radio, and the headphones were always in my ears. So the worst time of my life was seen through by a radio. And that was a very, very big support that I needed at that point of time. Moving out of that, I'll take you to 2012, when for the first time, a Paralympian's life documentary, a para sports person's documentary was made by Delhi Akashvani as a documentary, audio documentary called The Bird of Fire, and then it ended up winning the national award. That showed the changing face or the impact of radio, that it created a hero out of a disabled woman, and the sports which were never recognized in the country. And suddenly that documentary wins. We are celebrating sound. I never realized the power and impact of sound till I became paralyzed, and I had to still run a home, and I was kept on the bed. If I'm not on the chair, I'm immobile. When I'm in the house, most of the time I'm on the bed. And sitting in the bed, I can run the house because I have acquired a quality to understand sounds. किस कमरे में पंखा फालतू चल रहा है, कुकर की सीटियां कितनी हो गई हैं, छोंक क्या उसने ज्यादा गर्म घी में डाल दिया, क्या जीरा जल गया, कौन सा बर्तन निकाला गया है कौन सा चाय बनाने के लिए. एंड आई शाउट सिटिंग फ्रॉम देयर एंड आई से नहीं ये पतीला नहीं, इसमें दूध जल जाएगा, आप प्लीज चाय वाला पतीला जो मोटा है वो निकालिए. एंड माई डोमेस्टिक हेल्प सेज मैडम आपको कैसे पता लगता है, कैमरे लगा रखे हैं. आई सेड नो, दिस इज डेवलपिंग द लव फॉर साउंड and it made it easy. And that's the power and impact of the sound on the brains of a human body. And from sitting here, from this platform today, I make an appeal to all of you, all the members of the radio. Today, I'm happy because we are celebrating radio, but I'm also happy that people, the organizers, have celebrated my dignity, they have celebrated my respect, they have celebrated the wheels. Why? Look at that. Just a few planks placed here and there has turned the entire auditorium wheelchair amicable. It has given me a power to feel one of you. It has given me the dignity. I know few of you have come and picked me up and put me on the stage. It wasn't a big deal. But the thought speaks highly of registering that people like us need it. And that's what I make an appeal to the radio people today, especially the community radios. Talk about it. Create this awareness of acceptance of people with disability realizing their potential. Give away their success stories. Talk about their abilities and not disabilities. And also encourage the entire society to create a user-friendly and amicable world, make it more accessible for us. It can become a huge medium. And also celebrate our sports, talk about our sports. Because if sports had not happened to me, I would have never been an Arjuna awardee, I would have never been a role model awardee, I would have never become the first lady award from the Women and Welfare Ministry, and I would never be in a Padam Shri to deserve this stage today and be one of the speakers and speaking to you on such a huge and respectable platform. So let us become a voice and let us use our radios to create more awareness for para sports, to talk about the hero. Because if you pick up every story of every medalist and talk about it and take their interviews and share it with people, it is nothing but a huge, huge pool of inspiration and positivity that can be sent out in the society. And we need to be positive. We are so focused on negative stories. I think radio is the only medium which talks about romance by virtue of lovely songs, that talks about patriotism, that talks about humor, and encourage our country towards a better lifestyle and talk about abilities beyond disabilities. Thank you so much.
I think it's really difficult to speak after listening to this highly inspirational speech. And we are all proud of you, and we all feel highly motivated and inspirational for organizing this function and making SEMCA a part of this World Radio Day celebration. SEMCA has been on the forefront of community radio development, and in Kenya, the expert demonstrated how they have made use of the community radio in creating awareness about AIDS. And 4,800 plus women were helped to develop capacity to deal with the AIDS and AIDS patients. You are putting it there. Good. So 87% of these women members were women, and the results were fantastic. So this is the radio, community radio, trying to improve the health of women. So it goes with the International Women's, Association for Women's in Radio and Television also. From Uganda, we had an expert who demonstrated how community radio was used for farming. So they used community radio together with the new technology. So there were possibilities of all types of phone-ins, phone-ons. They created multimedia platforms. They created web portals. They also made use of the social media so that the group that is identified can remain together. And then the results were that there was a total transformation in those areas where the community radio was operating. The advantage of the community radio is that it works in a close proximity. The idea of AIR and Doordarshan being mass media, or for that matter any media, be that radio or television, the concept of mass has gone. Mass can work for maybe Mann Ki Baat, because all the radio, television channels together play Mann Ki Baat. At that time you have no other option but to listen to Mann Ki Baat, or for that matter the Independence Day speech or the Republic Day speech. Other than that, the mass is not there. So community radio comes to the rescue of the people who really want a focused information, because the proximity factor is there and the community radio has to play to that proximity factor. I am being told that there is limited time, otherwise I had a detailed presentation. But based on these experiences of the Africa, we tried to develop some thoughts about how a listener can move to a learner. And converting a listener into a learner, Simca believes three things are very essential. One is that audience profiling. We have to understand our audience. We have to understand their needs. We have to understand their requirements. We have to understand the availability of the local solutions for the problems that they are facing. And then integrating it with the ICT, because the technology is giving us a very good platform to make community radio an interactive one which can help. And then finally, to develop an interface between community radio, industry and academia, because together they can make a difference. And based on this thought, at Simca and Cole, we developed what's called a MOSFI model. MOSFI is an abbreviation which basically says that we have to mobilize the audience, we have to try to understand their needs, synchronize the production, capacity building, constant feedback and evaluation in a participatory mode. This MOSFI model is also on our website. In fact, the entire report about the workshop that was conducted in Malaysia is in details available on our website, and I encourage all of you to go through it, because it will be a great help for converting the listeners into learners, and then only the sustainable development is possible. Simca has utilized this model for the Science for Women's Health and Nutrition, which is supported by the DST, and we tried to help 14 community radio stations last year develop their capacity, help them develop programs which are locally relevant with the help of the local population, and then collect feedback and make difference in the lives of the people in terms of health and hygiene. Similarly, Simca has taken its own initiative in skill development, because as Madam was saying that radio plays an important role in sports. Radio can play an important role in skill development, which is in demand and which is in need of the hour for the country. So we have started in Northeast and in Bangladesh some projects which are based on the MOSFI model, and we hope that the results are going to be fantastic, provided we work with the zeal with which we have started the project. With these few words, I congratulate the UNESCO and IWAT for organizing this function and making us a part of it. And Simca, with its limited resources, has been able to sponsor some 14 women from 14 radio stations who are participating in this particular one-day radio festival. So I wish the festival all the best and thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shahid ji. May I now request Ms. Esther Carr, DGPRD, to say a few words.
Distinguished panelists on the dais, and fellow lovers of radio. I presume all of us are here because we love radio. And welcome to this session. I've been asked to speak extempo all of a sudden, I've been told, and I just want to share some thoughts on radio. We are celebrating sound. And I'm very happy that for the first time on this World Radio Day, we have assembled together all the three genres, the community radio, the FM radio stations, as well as the public service broadcaster. I wish to congratulate the organizers and UNESCO for organizing this wonderful synergy. We are all using the same medium, and we should all use it in a manner which benefits our audience. So congratulations first for this first ever initiative. Like I said, we are celebrating sound, and I remember I began my career in the newsroom of All India Radio, and I had fantastic bosses who taught me how to understand sound. We used to get our news on the ticker through the PTI and the UNI, and through our correspondents who would file stories, and they were all written. But when we were making the bulletin, we were asked to put together this story as if we are creating a picture in the mind. And that's exactly what we want to create for our audience. So we were told that we have to take all the sources and not type it out ourselves. We always had a stenographer. We used to dictate the story so that the sound went out. And if he could understand what we are trying to create, that's the kind of picture we wish to create for our audience. So I think radio also uses language and uses the power of language in the most beautiful manner to create pictures on our mind. Just imagine a little child. The first thing he learns is sound, not reading. Reading comes later. He learns to say ma or pa and sound. He listens to sound, he reacts to sound. So sound is so inherent in each of us. And I think our guest speaker, Ms. Deepa Malik, has really fascinatingly brought out how radio has played a very important role in our life. Radio is a fantastic medium. Radio is rooted in culture. Radio is rooted in what we grew up with. And we use the power of language and radio to communicate with others. And I think it is wonderful that all of us who love radio, who want to use radio as a medium, have gathered together here to celebrate sound. I wish this radio festival all the very best.
Thank you, Esther ji. May I now request Ms. Anju Nigam, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good morning, friends, distinguished guests, and all radio lovers. After I reached here, I was informed that I have to say a few words, which came as a jolt. I tried to say no, but still I have been somehow dragged into speaking. Other than mic, it's such a pleasant feeling to speak. But when you are in front of an audience, it is a real difficult task. But I'm happy to be here, and as the efforts have been made to synergize all the three forms of radio, the AIR, the FM, and the community radio station. It's just a matter of coincidence that I am looking after all the three in the ministry. The FM radio players, the community radio, and the All India Radio, along with the Doordarshan. So all the efforts have been synergized by the Ministry of INB to be under one patronage. And personally, I am a real lover of radio. Right from studying and playing radio simultaneously, even while I was preparing for the civil services exam, or I was doing my maths problems, solving them, radio was my essential partner because that used to add some flavor to the studies. Even before I slept, that Chaya Geet, one program was
always there on the mind कि अरे 10 to 10:30 गाने सुनने हैं उसके बाद सोना है. So radio has lifelong been the driving force and the melody in the life. Every day in the morning when I sit in the car, I have to coax my driver to say radio to chala do bhai, because radio is such a soothing thing and it can follow you everywhere. Somebody just made a comment that radio gives us some carelessness because you can just keep on doing your work and you do not listen to the radio. But I must tell you that as soon as something of relevance comes, your ears are trained to listen to that. And you go near the radio and you listen to that. So radio's importance, the romance of radio can never be overemphasized. It can never be curtailed. Howsoever you may say the policies are favoring radio or they are encouraging radio, but radio is a perennial source of encouragement, inspiration, information and entertainment to us, and we all will always abide by radio. The AIR with its reach of 99% of population in the villages and 92% of the area, and FM 313 stations of the FM, the majority of FM stations touch the youngsters and they have really inculcated a love for music. So radio can never be taken to the back seat. It will always be the driving seat, and Doordarshan along with it will really compensate for the visual thing. So I wish all the best to this festival, and I hope such festivals synergizing the efforts of all the broadcasting activities will be held even more. Thank you so much.
Mr. Alamin Yusuf, Advisor Communication and Information, UNESCO New Delhi, to propose the vote of thanks.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of UNESCO New Delhi, IWAT, our partners and associates, we would like to thank you all for coming here today for this event. But this event would have never been possible if without the support of the Joint Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Supriya Sahu, Director General of Doordarshan, Mr. Sheheria, Esther, Madam. We thank you all for the dedication of your time and for being here today. Of course, Dr. Shahid Rasul, the Director of SIMCA, who we always appreciate for your partnership, collaboration, and in many areas actually, not only in communication but also in education. Thank you so much. And of course, our Director, Mr. Shigeru Aoyagi, for your leadership, vision and guidance. Thank you so much for approving the hosting of this event. Not forgetting that we have several partners here, associates. Without naming each one of you, we recognize your tireless efforts and priceless contributions to make this event a success. Actually, you really deserve a grand applause. Yeah? And of course, the moderators, panelists and speakers. You know, in any workshop, in any event, just like this one, the core business are the interactions and the decisions that place. And for that matter, I'd like to proudly thank you, because of course we have a session following this inaugural session. I'd like to thank you in advance for your contribution. Not forgetting Archana, Rukmini, Pinky Chandran for the partnership and collaboration and leadership support for this event. Actually, without you, without you, the road leading to this event would have been longer and painful. So thank you so much. And of course, we had a very interesting address from Deepa Malik. Thank you so much. Yeah? Very inspiring. And we are so happy and we feel privileged to have you here today. Last but not least, we have photographers here, the people who manage our audio system, the caterers, and of course, we have our DPI team from UNESCO, and my colleagues, Aniban, Ashita, Neha. Thank you so much for all your hard work. And all of you who are seated here today, without you, this event would have never been possible and would have never been organized in the first place. So thank you so much. Please remember we have sessions following up. So please stay tuned, don't leave the place. Dhanyavad, shukriya.